And gals, Froggy here. This is my 2002 Suburban, and I'm going to do a throttle body service on it. I'm looking at my notes here, but I can barely read, and I think the last time I did it was 2009. So right now it's June of 2014, so it's pretty overdue. I've got about 105,000 miles, I think, on this. It's running good. Actually got the beauty cover off, and I've got this front cover off because I'm looking for a coolant leak. But as I'm working my way down to be able to see where the coolant leak is, I'm coming across these other fun things to do. So I'm going to do a throttle body service and show you guys and gals how to do it. So beauty cover's off, radiator cover's off. There's 7 little plastic pop rivets to take this off. I'm not going to show you how to do it, it's too trivial. This has got, as I see it, 2 clamps, like a hose clamp here, one there and one there, and that might just come off. Well, it's got some hoses too. So let's get started with that first. I'm going to need my 2 hands, and I'll be back. I'm taking the air cleaner cover off. This has the MAF, mass airflow unit in it also. There's 4 screws. They're captured. They won't fall out. And 1 electrical connection there. A little tricky to get these undone. You have to reach under this covered part here and pry that little flipper away, towards the cover to get it out. So now I think I've got a better shot at taking this off. My air cleaner is looks like new. This is a K&N filter, which I like. I might re-oil it, but that's the dirty side. It's not even dirty at all. These SUVs have an air intake that's really up high on the vehicle, not like my Corvette, which is really down low on the vehicle. That one gets dirty real quick. This one, last time I checked it was almost the end of 2012, and it's still clean. I'm going to just put a little oil on it and put it back in. But let's get the rest of this off and get to the throttle body, which is what we started out doing. Okay, to get this off, I already had this loosened. You just pull straight back, and then it has one little clip here that holds it to a hose. So I'm just going to take that off without, it's just a press-on thing, and try not to damage it too much. Got that off, just kind of pulled it off, and it'll go back on okay. So we're at the throttle body. Geez, it doesn't look that dirty, does it? I'm going to clean it anyway. This one doesn't have drive-by-wire. This has a cable. Wow, it just looks nice and clean. That's why I love this truck. Not too much ever goes wrong with this truck. So I'm just going to spray some throttle body cleaner in there and wipe it. The main thing are these little edges of the butterfly. To keep a nice idle, they need to be clean. If they're not clean, if they build up gunk, they could stick, and they can have the wrong amount of air metered through there and give you a rough idle. So let me do a little more looking here for my coolant leak before I start doing that. Okay, well, I told you. Oh boy, I think this is upside down. Hold on. This is going to be a little hard for me to show you because this camera changes its orientation, and I'm not very good at editing the video. So right now I've just got the camera so that it's in the right orientation, but I have to tilt it to show you the water pump. And I told you originally what I was looking for was a coolant leak, and everything up front of the up front in the radiator area looked good, and the top of the water pump was dry. Well, of course the top is dry because it leaks from the bottom. It leaks down. So it is the water pump. I'm gonna just try and show you. The first thing that you see here is the crank. The crank pulley, and there is the crank pulley. So above the crank pulley, you're gonna see right there. You can see a drip on it right there. See that drip on it? Right there. I'm flashing my light on it, taking the light off. On it, off it, on it, off it. That's the water pump. So it's leaking pretty good. It's not going to strand me or anything, but it's going to be replaced. So that's a diagnosis part of Froggy's video. I've found the leak. It's the water pump. I'll have to order one of them, and I'll do a video of installing it. I had to drop the skid plate. This truck has a skid plate. It has an off-road package, although it rarely goes off-road. So the skid plate's off. I'm just going to leave that off. I'm going to go back up top. I'm going to do the throttle body cleaning that I told you I was going to do. It's going to be pretty easy, and then button it up, and then Froggy will be back on this vehicle to do a water pump. Okay, let's go back up top. Okay, this is my throttle body cleaner and some paper towels, and I can just turn this throttle cable and open it up like that. I'm going to need to put the camera down and use my right hand to spray, but I'm just going to spray it around in a circle there and then reach in with the towels and clean as much as I can. You can't get way down deep in there, but the main thing is this edge where the butterfly gets close to the throttle body. That's what you want to get clean. Okay? I'll show you when I'm done, but I don't think it's going to look too much different. Darn, that's just really clean. Okay. Well, there it is. Looks pretty much the same, doesn't it? But anyway, I cleaned it. Now, so let's wrap this up. I'm going to put everything back together. I'm going to put a little oil on my K&N. I'll show you how I do that, I guess. Here, let me show you that now. The reason I'm not cleaning it is because it looks just extraordinarily clean. I can see a little bit here and here. But this truck also has a flow meter that tells you when your air cleaner is dirty, and this was like totally in the full green zone. Paper air filters get dirty and restrict the flow of air, which is a bad thing, but these K&N ones, I've used them on a lot of different cars. I like them a lot. I could wash it, but it's just so clean, and I really don't have the time. I got to put this thing back together. But let me show you. For the oiling, you really, I'm just going to mist it on there. Just, that's it. Yeah. A little bit there, a little bit on the other side. And the reason I'm doing that is because it has been a few years sitting in the hot engine compartment environment, so I figured this is a light oil and it's probably fairly well evaporated. You can see it's got a red tint to it. That's so you can tell your coverage. I will keep an eye on that flow meter that I just showed you, but this thing's never going to clog up. It's a nice little improvement for the Suburban truck, in my opinion. Froggy's going to wrap it up before the daylight goes away. All I got left is this cover here, which is 7 little plastic pop rivets, and then the beauty cover on the top, which is 1. It hooks on those little those little ears sticking up there. and then one bolt right there. So I have to order this sensor in here. Actually, the sensor's worn out, so I need one of these tanks, because you can't buy the sensor separate. But the tank's only about 36 bucks, I think. So I need a tank, a water pump. I'm going to put an AC belt in while I'm there, because it does look worn and it's hard to get to the AC belt. Serpentine belt looks good, so I'll leave that because that's easy to change if that ever goes. And what else? A gasket, if there is a gasket. I don't know if there's a gasket or if it's built in. We'll see when we get the part. So, there you go. Thanks for spending the afternoon with me, and I enjoy doing these for you guys and gals. If you like it, give me a thumbs up or a like. And if you want to subscribe, just click on the subscribe I put up there for you. And I'll see you next time. Froggy out. Bye-bye.